Greetings of the day. My name is Dr. Ravi Kumar. I am working as an assistant professor from Department of Media Studies. Today we are going to discuss about one of the important concepts in the communication theories, that is related to models of communication. When come to the models of communication, it is very important that we have to understand the process of communication from the point of view of successful communication elements. So in that perspective, the Aristotle model of communication is considered as one of the important model. So we are going to discuss today Aristotle model of communication in detailed manner, and we are going to understand the process of communication from the perspective of Aristotle. So as we know that Aristotle is one of the popular philosopher initiated the earliest mass communication model. So he proposed the model before 300 BC and found the importance of audience role in the communication chain also. So this model is more focused on public speaking than interpersonal communication, and at the same time this model is also called one of the rhetorical model or maybe a classical model of communication, because Aristotle model of communication, it is not meant for the interpersonal communication. Purely it speaks how to speak in the public space, that is called in the form of rhetorical model of communication. So today we are going to discuss about this Aristotle model of communication. So as we know that Aristotle is one of the popular philosopher in the political science, and we considered this person as one of the pioneer in the coming up with or maybe gifting one of the important model for the communication field also. So Aristotle model of communication will going to speak about three very important elements. One is ethos, logos, pathos. So ethos means it is related to the speaker. Logos means it's related to the message. Pathos means it's related to the audience. So when Aristotle propounded this model in the earlier stage, he concentrated only three elements, that is ethos, logos and pathos, or maybe a speaker, message and audience. But later Aristotle model developed by the side of research scholars, and they added another one kind of aspect, that is in the form of effect. Later the three elements are converted in the form of four elements, and at the same time they added another one, that is called effect. So now Aristotle model is a developed one in the form of speaker, speech, audience and at the same time effect also. So these are a very important three things are there we have to discuss about Aristotle model of communication from the perspective of speaker, message and audience. So and at the same time this model of communication is also called in the name of rhetorical triangle model also, because this model will going to focus on three important elements. So this is called a rhetorical triangle model and at the same time classical model of communication also. So Aristotle model of communication is also known as a rhetorical triangle or maybe a speaker audience message a model also. So Aristotle will going to concentrate more on three very important elements. One is speaker, audience and message. So the first and foremost one, we are going to understand the Aristotle model of communication from the perspective of a speaker also. So according to Aristotle, the speaker is the person who is delivering the message. Especially in this model, the speaker is responsible for creating and delivering the message effectively. According to the perspective of the Aristotle, speaker is a very important person, and at the same time he is the person who will going to create the message. When he is delivering the message, he has to concentrate more on not only from the perspective of the message, he has to concentrate more on the delivery style, the tone and at the same time what kind of body language he is using. So that's why from the perspective of Aristotle, speaker is a very important person and very important one. When come to the second stage, that is related to the audience. According to Aristotle, the audience is the group of people who receive the message. So in this model, the audience is considered as an essential part of the communication process, and at the same time when speaker is delivering the message, it is very important that he has to concentrate, he has to understand the needs of the audience or maybe the interest of the audience or maybe the belief, values and other elements of the audience also. So then only it will be considered as a very effective communication process. And the very important, the last one, it is related to the message. According to the perspective of the Aristotle, the message is the content of what is being communicated. So in this model, the message should clear, concise and at the same time it should motivate the people, those who are listening the speech. So the message should be crafted with the audience in the mind to ensure that is relevant and engaging. According to the perspective of the Aristotle, whatever the topic we're going to discuss or maybe we're going to deliver, that should be a relevant one, that should be a very concise, crisp, and at the same time it should motivate and engage the audience in a different manner. So that's why Aristotle will going to focus more on these three elements, that is related to the speaker, audience, and at the same time message. And another one thing is that when Aristotle propounded this model, on that time he was under the rulership of the kings. So on those days, kings are considered as the representative of the god. So when the god representative or maybe the representative of god is speaking something, on that time there is no feedback also. So on those days, people believe that whatever the king will going to explain or maybe the king will going to address, that is the ultimate one. So these are all the things are there in the form of Aristotle model of communication. When we are understanding the process of communication from the perspective of Aristotle model, speaker, audience, and messages are very important one in motivating the people and persuading the people also. So that's why we have to concentrate on these three elements. So that is speaker, speech, and another one is the message and the audience also. So these are three very important elements are there. So with this we will going to conclude this one. So I hope this session will be a very useful one in understanding the concept of Aristotle model of communication. Through that we can understand the process of communication in an effective manner also. Thank you one and all.